Hey guys, so I haven't really done much since I woke up because of the fact that I just woke up, but I didn't just wake up. I something. Okay, so I woke up early this morning, then I'm laying here and I I could tell that Erik was trying to practice trancing through me. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna lay here and just breathe. And I was sleepy. And I was like, okay, I'm also kind of falling asleep, but I'm like, okay, like that's good though. It's your when you're in that in between kind of sleep state, you're in like that. That's like a very good, like strong meditative state, right? And so I'm kind of in a little bit of that in between sleep state, a bit more on the wake end though. I'm a bit more on the awake end. I'm sleepy. I'm on that. I'm quite sleepy stage, but I'm still on more of the awake end. And so I'm just laying there and I'm focusing in on my breathing and just surrendering, telling Erik, okay, I surrender this to you. Like, do your thing. And all of a sudden, I'm just in this room sitting up. But it was like, there was no change. I know what it's like to be like, oh, I fell asleep and I have no memory of falling asleep. This is, when you like wake up from sleeping and then you're like, oh, I dreamt that. This was more like there was no difference between this and that. Like it didn't even feel like I fell asleep. It didn't feel like it was a dream, nothing. It was just, I'm laying here and then I'm sitting. But the thing is I guess the way I was laying, I was like, my torso was up just slightly. And so like I was just, I don't know, my sitting up just, it didn't even feel like my body changed in position. Like it just, I can't describe it other than that. And I just remember looking to my right. I don't remember. I feel like I maybe looked at someone. I feel like I looked at someone, possibly another version of me. Possibly. But I feel like I looked at someone. I feel like I looked at someone. But I do remember looking to the right. And then all of a sudden my body just started vibrating really, really hard. So this kind of vibrating, I don't know if any of you ever have felt it if any of you have experienced sleep paralysis. It's this type of vibrating, and I always feel it like really, not always, there's times when I've been in sleep paralysis and it's very strong in my head. It's like my brain is like vibrating so hard, and it feels like if I let myself fall into it, it's almost like it feels like I'm gonna, like, my brain, I don't know if this would be the right word, like my brain's gonna like is like hemorrhaging and it's gonna kill me or something. Like it vibrates so hard. So it was like that feeling, and then it can happen throughout my whole body too. And that's what it was. It was my whole body was just vibrating so hard, and I was just like, relax into it. The more I resist, the more it's gonna be harder. The more I resist, the harder it'll be. And as much as it hurts, relax into it. Resistance is futile. So I let myself breathe through it. And as it started peaking, my consciousness started moving forward without my body. And what's really interesting is when we're being, so on one end, my consciousness was first pulled from this, which I have like, there was like no memory of that. It was just like, no, like so clearly that it's overlapped. Like, no, like I'm there and I'm here, like so clearly. And then this time I was actually it was where I have the memory, like I am being pulled from an avatar. And this is the second time I have memory of this. Now this happened to me just a few months ago, where I was pulled from my avatar as well. And so I was getting at, so I'm being pulled forward. And I knew, like, so I was leaving my body behind, but I didn't look back. I just knew. I just knew. I didn't need to look back. I just knew. I'm still like how I was sitting. I didn't change position. I was just moving forward, and it's like I'm still sitting there. I'm not moving, but I'm moving forward, and I'm in front of a wall, and I'm headed, and I'm getting closer and closer to the wall, and it's not that my mind went, it's a portal, but I just knew that, like, as I got to the wall, and I don't even want to say hit because there's no impact. I knew when I got to the wall, it was going to be basically in words. I knew it was going to be like a portal. It was going to take me somewhere. but I wasn't going, oh, it's a portal. I just knew it was going to take me somewhere. And so as I got to the wall, and instead of hitting the wall, I went through it, and then I was just in this dark space. It was just black. And it was just, and as I entered that, the vibrating just balanced out. So as I was getting to the wall, and as I was starting to enter into this black space, the vibrating peaked, and that's where it got the worst. And then all of a sudden it started to, and it was very quick. The peak, it started decline, and then it balanced out and then I was like just in this complete blackness, and it was just this calm peace, and like a blissful calm peace. But the bliss, when humans say bliss, you think of like this adrenaline pumped, endorphin filled ecstasy kind of thing. This is different. It's a calm, peaceful bliss. It's calm and it's peaceful, but you want to add the word bliss to it, but it's not human. It's not a human bliss. You can't think of it in a human way. And I knew, I was like, I'm in the void, and this is a spiritual car. I just knew. And again, it's not that I had these thoughts. I just knew I was in the void, and I knew this was a spiritual car wash. And then all of a sudden, what happened? I'm trying to remember. Why am I think I'm blanking. Oh, probably because I'm blocking coming back in this bit, because it was just so, it coming back into this still kind of sucks a bit, because there's still illusion I'm clinging to. So I'm blocking coming back in. So, and now I'm getting warm. I'm getting warm, A, from resistance, but B, I can tell my team's trying to influence me. Hang on a second. My team's trying to influence me, like help me remember and get my words together. So I'm in this one, it's peaceful. And then I just opened my eyes in this, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was so, yeah. I'm hearing Erik saying ding, and he's smiling and nodding, and I'm seeing him push me forward, like, yeah, go. Okay. It was honestly, it's just so, it's kind of like this. Okay. Yeah. It's like when I was saying, like, I was laying there and I'm like, okay, Erik, go ahead and trance through me. And all of a sudden I was just like in another room, and there was no difference. Like, it was like, you can tell it's overlap. It's kind of like that. It was like, there's no real difference between going from there into this, with the exception of when I opened my eyes, or like, yes and no, because I laid there for a bit with my eyes closed. It's so hard to explain. All of a sudden I was just back in this. I could feel myself. There was this peace. There was this peace where I felt myself enter back into my avatar in this. I can't explain it other than that. That's not exactly correct. I don't have the right words for it. That's the best I can do. And right away I could feel, so everything, my body felt like amazing, with the exception, I'll explain what I mean by that in a second, with the exception of my stomach was hurting a little bit. It wasn't intolerable. It was enough that it was like, I don't like this feeling, but it wasn't intolerable. Outside of that, my body was just, everything was, I know I've talked about how I feel hollow, like I've been feeling hollow. This was like my entire body, from like the top of my head down to the tips of my toes and the tips of my fingertips, were like, still is, I can still feel it, is so, again, I want to say hollow and light, but it's not that. It's ethereal. It's so much more than that. It's this, I can't explain except for it's floaty, hollowed lightness. But it's not, human words are not sufficient for it. I can't explain it. It feels, and the thing is, it feels so different, especially when I first came back into this, to the point that I sat here and I sobbed like a baby. And I was like, I was just like, to me, my consciousness. So what happened? So I gave Erik that opening to come in. So my avatar's still here. My avatar's clearly still not expired. But the energy, the fractaled piece of the illusioned fractaled piece of energy that we call Erik, Archangel Uriel, I gave him that opening to come in fully and take over. And this is where my consciousness, like where I consciously am aware of my consciousness went completely somewhere else. I had that opportunity. I took that opportunity to consciously put myself into the void for a spiritual car wash, a cleansing, and my team and myself. Because when you're in the void, you're alone, but you're not alone. And something big was removed from me, like stuff that, some big illusion that I'm really clinging to. So, sorry, why do I, hang on. Sorry, I got distracted because I'm just like, my mind started going to, okay, what pieces of illusion did I, but I'm like, no, it's illusion in general. It's not what pieces, it's just illusion. So, what was my point in saying that? This piece of consciousness. So like, remember, I'm a braid of consciousness with thread popping in at any point. But that braid, in a sense, took itself out while the illusion fractaled piece of Erik came through and did whatever he did to practice. I don't have any memory. I don't know what he did, but I mean, I know Erik. I trust him, and clearly I'm good. He's not going to hurt me. Energy won't anyway. It plays as we allow it to. But anyway, so I allowed him to come through, and I took this braid of consciousness of mine, and I inserted myself into the void for this healing, this spiritual car wash healing moment. And then when I was ready, and when Erik was all good, we switched out. And that was a rebirth. I was rebirthed back into this, and because I had this feeling, I was just like, I died and just came back, and I was rebirthed, that piece of consciousness. And then even and it's just, yeah, like, because even my body, like, it's just, my body literally feels different. And like I was saying, I was yeah, I was laying there and I was sobbing like a baby, and I was just the whole time, even as I was vibrating, and like my I was being pulled forward, and even like as I was sitting here crying, because it just felt so different. It's not that it was bad, because the only piece that was bad was my stomach was hurting, but it wasn't intolerable. My stomach has hurt way worse, many times, way before my awakening. Like, it was not. It wasn't that it was intolerable. It didn't feel good, and I didn't like it. What was making me cry there because that was there, but it was just so different. And then, oh my gosh, and then there was that aspect too, as I was coming back into this, and as everything was settling down, it was so, I've never felt it so strongly before. Nothing is solid, and I am everywhere. And so I'm gonna ground. I just wanted to get this filmed right away, as it's all fresh and whatnot. I'm going to make sure I do some grounding and everything at the same time. This is what's happening. We are bringing our full awareness and full abilities online now. The best of the illusion of the physical is merging with all of home, and nothing is solid. Nothing is solid. And I felt that so strongly today. All I could do was I just kept calling on Erik's name and thinking about him, and just remembering that what all this is, and just focusing on the fact that it did feel good. It's just that it's different, because it did feel good. It does feel good. It's just that it's different, and it's a very strong different. So yeah, I'm in a place where I feel a little tripped out. I definitely questioned for a moment if I'm actually dead. I know what's death, but I was like, did the avatar in the one linear timeline that I have full memory of from birth till now, did that avatar actually expire, and I don't have memory of it? And I'm like hopping around, and all of you guys are going like, hi, like, you're actually dead, like, stop acting like you're like in an avatar, because you're not. Now I know time's not linear, and what is all this, I know, but just within that illusion, amnesia kind of aspect, I definitely have that moment today of a little bit of, am I actually dead? But the thing is that's it. We are becoming more alive than what we have. And my, I did talk to my mentor and friend this morning, and she did again give me that reassurance as well. Because I do know, the thing is, I do know that that's what that is, but I did need a little bit of that reassurance this morning. But I do know that is true. We're becoming more alive. I've talked about this before. We were the Walking Dead. The Walking Dead, the zombie apocalypse was never about a bunch of dead avatars coming from the ground trying to eat people or anything like that. It was nothing about that. We already were the Walking Dead, but we're waking up and becoming alive. So, yeah. Hard moment of spiritual cleansing and death and rebirth, and trance channeling practicing moment, practicing trancing moment. It was really cool. It's really cool, but I'm going to have to go shower now. I'm going to do some grounding, and yeah. And I am thanking Erik for all of this, being here with me, the rest of my team as well. I'm thanking Julie, my mentor. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful for, because when I have moments, it can be a lot harder to channel for yourself, and especially when you're going through it. So I just to have someone that I consider a mentor to help guide me a little bit, I really do appreciate it. Especially because I know what this stuff is. I do know what this stuff is, but just having that help and that guidance and those reminders and those moments when I need someone to channel for me with questions that I have a hard time figuring it on my own a little bit, or just that confirmation of what I'm getting is I'm getting it, so I am thanking her for that as well. Again, I'll link her YouTube in the description. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you guys are going through anything trippy like that, actually, that'd be really cool. If anyone has been experiencing anything that lately, I was just talking to another friend and they were telling me that they literally just went through something like that last night as well. Which is really cool, with the vibration and feeling the vibrating and the darkness and everything. So if any of you guys are experiencing any of that, leave a comment, let me know. I'm not expecting to get a whole bunch of comments or anything like that. Not saying that you're not. I know it can be a little quiet with the comments, and that's fine, but it'd be kind of cool if anyone feels like talking about it. That'd be kind of cool to see. But if not, that's okay too. So yeah. All right. I just wanted to share that. I hope you guys found that as cool and interesting as I did. I know I'm not the only one. And I know that this isn't uncommon. It's not that this is a special exception. And that's just it. It's not that exceptional. This is normal stuff, We've just forgot that it's not normal, but we're remembering. So I know that it's not anything. I'm not any super special about this or anything like that. But it is still really cool. And I really wanted to share with you guys. So, all right. Thanks, guys, for everything. I love you. And as always, have wonderful now. Bye.